Back half of the Warwick Farm card, Wednesday the 18th of January, and it's 1,000 metres, race 5. Favourite is Bishin Snowden, Riders Reign, $3.60. $5 Lake Logano, $6 Invincible Dame, $8 Gadfly, $8.50 Knotted. And then we have $15 Aussie James, $17 Phoebe's Lass, $17 Demon Dreaming, $21 Polino Longer the Other. Keen race, but I imagine that Lake Logano, who led a mares race up here recently at 1100, leads this 1,000 metre race. Knotted is James Doyle's only ride on the card and resumes off a long spell, and certainly will be, I expect, to be forward. Aussie James is an on-pacer, country horse is an on-pacer. Phoebe's Lass not too far away despite coming back in distance, ditto Invincible Dame, and Riders Reign attempting to hold her draw so as not to be shuffled back. Denman Dreaming, another horse that can push forward. Over to you.
I've mentioned before, if you see a horse that trials fantastic and it doesn't win first up, then you shouldn't throw it in the bin. You should definitely be looking at backing it again next start, and that is number 7, Invincible Dame. That was an awesome trial.
Does it matter that it was already into its preparation?
No, it was just so dynamic against what is a really decent horse in good time. And there's an argument to be made there was some sort of excuses first up in the Treviso race, although I'm starting to think that's a bit of a weak form race, particularly with Smooth Truth punching along back there on the inside.
Yeah, but the ride was out 3 metres. It's got caught 3 wide for that that favourite jockey of yours, El Roach.
And massive positive jockey change, and we're probably getting a little bit of a price. The stable's in form as well. The other one I looked at was the O'Shea first starter. With James Dell on it. I actually liked that trial against some decent horses in that particular race. Not a hint French Emotion, and before that, I mean, it didn't do much in the other trial, but at least it's had 2 trials. Might be ready to go over the 1,000 metres and has a jockey that's in fantastic form at the moment. So
can you make anything of its form?
No. Just done off suspicion, because if you've noticed a few. The Badajos on Saturday.
Here we go. Badahov,
okay.
It's getting tough. Glenn set us above an awful
lot. I'm not bothering. I'm just going to keep on going until you guys forget about correcting me. You know what I mean? They can springboard off their previous preparations, this stable, particularly at the moment. So if you spot something
They're
you
a
like...
fresh stable, I think.
Yeah, and if you spot something you like in a trial, which Badajos did actually do something in this trial, although I completely penned it because I didn't like what it had done last preparation, and probably a mistake on my part because it was gelded and had trialled well. So I'm going to try not and let that, not miss that again. So I give Knotted a chance, but clearly my top in the race is number 7, Invincible Dame.
Yeah, which has got a terrific chance there tomorrow. But I was drawn to Lake Logano, who debuted in City at 1100, which is out of her comfort zone, I think. She's had blinkers on for the past 4 starts, and she's gone like a rocket in the bush. And then she tried to lead them up at 1100 against the fence, and the ground was no good. That was an impossible situation for her to achieve, and I think this is a perfect race for her. Riders Reign, what about her? She seems a little bit tight at $3.80.
Yeah, but, well, when you're looking at a Snowden horse with Shin on board,
she beat 2 locals down there.
One in boots or boots.
One Gwenda and the other one wasn't fit.
Yeah, and Baby wasn't coming back on the inside there as well. It was sort of a bit of a strange race. So I don't know whether that was a top form race, but this stable has the ability to take a win and springboard off it into higher standard stuff. As far as Lake Logano is concerned, like I just... Wouldn't you like a proper jockey to go on it? Like if I'm going to take a country trainer, at least
he's a very experienced jockey.
But I would prefer a proper city jockey to go on. The only reason I didn't, I gave it a chance was that I like the fact that it was quite well found from the market in that particular city run, which indicates that there is some substance there. But I won't be backing 8 or 9.
Any comment on Gadfly, one of the other 3-year-olds in the race that T. Clark rides?
Was it Perry? Was it back in distance?
Yes.
There you go. Hey, what are we going to do with him?
He's always coming back in distance. Yeah. Those horses that those maidens that are struggling around in a mile, and you see them win their 1,000 metre maiden at Muswellbrook or Corindi or.
It's never run over 1,000 metres. You know? Has a spell first up over 1150 back to 1,000 metres. Like I know he pulls it off in the country, but I don't think he can pull that off in town.
Yeah, look, I think it's funny. It's a race with probably not that much depth because there's lots of country cuddies in there. Like Aussie James has been around for a couple of highways and found the going too tough, and the line through Aussie James extends to Dem and Dreaming, and yeah, it's certainly a very winnable race, and I was very keen on number 8. We move on to the penultimate, which is a 1400 metre race, benchmark 71. Our favourite is Sovereign Air, B Shin again, $4.60. And then we're out to $6, the bottom one, 3-year-old Gold Artisan with the flyweight. $6, $6.50 Schnitzel Knight, $8 I Am Impressed, $10 Carluca, $11 Dorf Star, he's much maligned at the 1400, $12 Intrepid Way, who may go to Gosford, in fact I'm sick of having him scratched, $13 Mortar Platoon, who's the import of Wallers, $15 Nahima, and that's pretty much it. I think I made $35 Lancelot is the outsider. And not much happening here, Gord, and I had Nahima actually pushing on from her wide gate. She's had an 11 and a 12. 11 in a seminal race, won by Improvement, and Motor was second in that race. And then she went into a Saturday mares race where in her time beat Raymond, and I think that is a setup here. Her best runs are at 1400 in New Zealand. She's now third up, and Tim Clark from a wide gate. I'm keen.
Really?
Yep.
Look, I give some credit to running in sort of some decent city stuff in its last 2 races, but it's not done enough in New Zealand for me to get interested in it. I was actually keen myself, but I'm keen on number 1, Schnitzel Knight. Absolutely gigantic jockey changes, goes from T. Berry 2 starts back to Nick Haywood, now has Karen McAvoy.
Big hello to Tommy Berry. Is he still suspended? No, he's back tomorrow. He was, well, you missed yesterday, someone wrote in and said if J-Mac gets 2 years for betting, well, surely T. Berry should get at least a year for tipping.
Oh, what's
His
going on there?
tips were in the paper.
Oh, were they really? Wow. Oh, okay.
Schnitzel Knight, yeah, you like the jockey change?
Yeah, love the jockey change. Bit of a question mark, third start this preparation over the same distance, but has had the 23-day freshen up. And it's a horse that can run some decent sectionals, you know. Barrier 5, posse up maybe a little bit, better balanced jockey considerably to the last few, and those sort of races it's been running against its last 2, not only has it not had the best jockeys on them, but I don't think it's been really given a chance to win either one of those races. So I think given a chance in this particular race, it can blow them away. So keen on number 1. The other ones I looked at was Sovereign Air, which interesting to have 1 900 metre trial and then first up over 1400 metres. I think that will mean that again over the 1400 metres will suit it, but I think it's very well found in the market. Dorf Star's flying, but as you say, it's never run over 1400 metres, has it? So,
well, it looks a black mark, but it sort of wasn't entitled to win the other day. I mean,
maybe we should just go off this prep and just forget about all that.
Yeah, look, all its 13 and 1350s and all that in the past have 1400s in the past have looked like it's not his cup of tea, and he looks like one of those short, sharp, sprinting like 1200 metre horses. Yeah. But he's going so well that I think you're foolish to discount him here.
And Intrepid Way, I'm assuming he'll run on Thursday.
Who knows when he'll run? He has. I think he's been scratched 3 times.
Okay, and that's about it. But I must admit, when you have a quick scope at the form, you think, oh well, nothing's really jumping off the page out of me here. And then when I interrogated a little bit more closely, I just became keener and keener on number 1.
Yeah, you were particularly the jockey change.
Yeah,
which I mean makes perfect sense. He's in the right race. My query on him is that his city runs are a touch lacklustre. So.
I'm saying he hasn't been given much chance.
Yeah, well, he'll certainly be giving his chance tomorrow. Yeah. Any comment on this 3-year-old down the bottom here? $26 in what may appear to be a rubbish 3-year-old race on a Saturday, and on account of him getting down to the 53, he's now $6 and hard in the market for Jay Ford.
I'm sort of Hawk Stable's a bit of a funny one for me because they do some interesting stuff, but geez, they always seem to be so well found in the market. I think if we interrogated the data on ratings to win, we'd find quite a negative return as far as SP is concerned with Hawk's horses. You reckon?
Well,
Yeah.
we'll ask Paul that question. He's back from holidays this week. We've got to get him onto the Waller in the month post notification, then Waller in the 6 weeks post conviction. So we'll give him some work in regards to Hawks as well. I don't think there's anything else to say. The Sovereign Heir, of course, used to be John Thompson. Now Chris Lees is having him for his 3rd start. I think he's a funny horse. He looked like he was going to be, like he had his first city run in an 1800 metre race against Danger. And then you see him winning at 1300 at Scone and resuming at 1400 and hitting the line quite well, perhaps in the wrong section of the track at Randwick. He's a horse of interest, but he's also a hard horse to really get.
Don't you think that 1400 again is a good thing with the only one 900 metre trial?
It's probably okay.
Yeah.
In fact, he's probably just a 1400. He's probably just a miler anyway. So look, I've got Sovereign Heir hard in the market there. The nightcap, 1600 metres, and what a pearler it is. Equal favourites, Tarsin $3.80, California Fortune $3.80, $6 Who Is Game, and then we're at $7 Circle Game, seems very well forgiven there. $14 Maven Wiz, $17 Attaboy Ross, $21 Poldark, who I mentioned earlier, and long odds the other 3. Should be game on here. Poldark, A Hieronymus will be like doing a Lee Roach out of the gates on him. California Fortune is second start in blinkers, 13.50 to a mile, will be hard on the speed. Tarsian is raced very prominent in his last 3 at the provincials, and next best would be Circle Game, perhaps Attaboy Ross. Something here, or you letting it slide?
Look, I'm half letting it slide. I don't think I'll be betting on the race, but I have number 3 on top. John Thompson is a stable where if he gets them going well, he can keep them up, keep them looking good, keep the condition in them, and they can keep running well. So I know it's quite well found at the particular price, but I am interested in that. 3rd start 1600 metres. It seems like I'm a broken record at the moment with backing these horses at the same distance, doesn't it? Which normally isn't something I like, but they're the ones I've been finding. So number 3, Tashin on top. Question mark about number 4, not proven yet, but yet again likely Ray Snowden thing. And to be honest,
he's sort of tied to number 1, isn't he? Oh, sorry, number 1 in race 1.
Yeah.
Could be a multi there.
No, I don't think he's tied to it because he's not as good as Gordon. Gordon was first up, ridden terribly.
He's in a hard race. He's against 3-year-olds. This guy's against pensioners.
Yeah, but there was no comparison between the 2 runs. I'm saying they're not tied because the run of Gorgon, California Fortune 2 start backs when it ran against Gorgon, Gauguin was first up and given a terrible ride, a poor Glen ride. So
you refused. It's like Glenn got so upset with me yesterday because I kept saying bookies were reaching for, and he says no bookies. Like every time I say it, he gets really upset. And you're upset with me here for trying to tie these 2 together, which is a slight on Gauguin. I think you're probably trying to say. California Fortune won a particularly weak maiden at Wyong, but did it owned it, and he's only had the 2 starts. He's only had the 1 start with the blinkers on. Well, something else? Anything else?
Seriously, I just won't bet in the race.
Who Is Game? She's had 2 city runs. I realise she's a relatively old country mare from Taree, but both runs are excellent. Kingsguard and Little Miss Brown. This is a course and distance run here. Kay McAvoy gets back on board. She has got 2 runs to hang your hat on there. She's certain to run well. Because
it's just like wouldn't you a country trainer, okay? You'd want more than $6, wouldn't you? Even though it is a weakish race.
She's only the only horse with city form.
Okay.
Tarsian has had 3 runs back at the provincials. His only city run he got distanced. California Fortune, his only city run is legless.
Yep.
Circle Game, have a look at her last start city run, and her other city run was at Canterbury by My Psychiatrist.
What I'm saying is you can't stamp Tashin in California that conclusively, though, because
No, I'm just saying
California's-
they haven't got any city creds. I'm not saying that they're done and dusted, they're convicted or anything like that. They just don't have any.
Okay.
They're and Maven Wiz is a city winner, 4 starts back, and perhaps can improve sharply here. It's a funny horse, Maven Wiz. I haven't decided whether it's a miler or a 2-miler. Yeah, I'm impressed with who is game, and I'm less than impressed with Circle Game, whose highway runs are okay. But as I say, her 2 runs in proper city races. That's Monday, Queen's Birthday holiday, every chance there for a nice 5th of 8. And then the other day she was very poor. I know she loses J forward, but
And that was a weak race, that Monday race too, wasn't it?
it was yeah. Well, was it a weak race? It was just a slowly run, yucky sort of race. All right, so that's Warwick Farm. You got a play or plays or?
I've got 3 plays. Gorgan, top of my list, and Snitch. Is it Snitch or Night in the last? They're my 3 plays on the
Second
day.
last, yeah.
second
But
last.
you'll know your fate fairly early, won't you?
Yeah.
I like Lake Lugano. That's race 5, number 8. We shall return for a preview of Randwick on Friday. Got a busy week because Gosford is on Thursday, Canterbury Friday night, Randwick and Kembla on Saturday, Randwick and Beaumont on Saturday, and Wyong Sunday. Then backing up Kembla Tuesday. So don't.
I'm just so excited about Bowman on Saturday. Eh? I don't even bother doing it anymore. I just back everything you like. Been making a min out of it.
Excellent. Well, let's hope it continues. See you on Friday. Good luck tomorrow at the farm.
Cheers, guys.